better take another close look.
Hi everyone, this is Sanjana from Close Look, and we are super excited to have people from Surrey Shares over here today. As you know, we are working hard to provide more information about seniors and senior inclusivity, and we do have an upcoming issue coming up. Speaking of magazines, we also do have our LGBTQ issue out finally, hard copy, and you can find it on our website as well. And yes, let's continue with our show today. Can you guys introduce yourself to our audience and a little bit about your role for Surrey Shares?
Sure. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Houston. I am a life coach. I've been a certified life coach for about 6 years now, and I have my own practice. And my role with Surrey Shares is to work with the seniors and do the life coaching portion of the program, as well as the coordination of bringing people in and getting everybody sorted out and set up.
Awesome.
And I'm Noel Bentley. I'm the storytelling coach for Senior Shares. I'm normally a public speaker, an MC, and a humorist, and I've coached many different types of speakers. And in this program, we're also helping to create a book, so we're embroiled in that as well right now.
Oh wow, you're doing it all. So how long have you guys been working for Surrey Shares?
The program is just over 3 years old now, and Noel and I have been working together throughout the entire time. So we co-created the program and have been working together ever since.
Oh, perfect. And what made you guys want to co-create this program?
Well, to be fair, the idea came from Gillian Glennie at Unity, formerly Semi-Ammo House. And she had the idea for this project and approached Jessica and I and saying, we have a life coach and a storytelling coach working concurrently with people. And it was her idea, so it was her brainchild. She brought us together and then said, all right, go for it. Now it's yours.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And then it was born. That's amazing. So like, what kind of steps did you guys have to take to get it to where it is?
Well, the program is part of a network. So we're part of the CISIP network, where there's 6 different organizations that all came together and applied for a grant with the New Horizons for Seniors funding from the Government of Canada. Thank you, Government of Canada.
Shout out to them.
So once we got the grant, then we started looking at some of the gaps in the community and seeing that, especially with COVID, seniors were really isolated.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come up with something that would bring them together, give them an opportunity to share some of their stories and leave their legacy behind, and also to give them a purpose again. So we're finding a lot of seniors, once they retire, they feel like they might not have a purpose or have a reason to kind of get up and go in the morning. So we really wanted to make sure that people had that opportunity, and also that they would be able to connect with other people.
Oh, that's awesome. And how have they been responding to these services and opportunities?
Well, yeah, the challenge was, of course, the program starts exactly as COVID hits.
Yeah, that must have been hard.
The challenge was, of course, how do you do this program without meeting people in person? And so it went entirely online, which in a way was kind of a blessing, because one of the ideas of this program for all groups is to help people with technology. So now you got to learn Zoom. Now you have to use your computer. Now you have to do this. It worked very well in that way. It does make it harder to reach people because you can't go into a community center.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't see groups that would meet. So that's another challenge. Actually, it's been great that we can help people use technology, but getting in touch with people and to promote the program is definitely harder when you're only online and people don't use social media as much in the groups we're trying to contact.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you guys overcome this challenge? Because I know when I used to volunteer at a senior home, and like the moment COVID came around, like I was kicked out. They were like, no, we love you, but you can't volunteer for us anymore. So it's really hard to have that contact with the seniors. So how did you guys overcome that?
Well, we did a few things. We got some advertisements through some of the local papers, which was really helpful. We were actually also able to put a few articles in which explained the program, and that was really, really helpful. We were able to reach out to some various groups, some seniors activity groups, and different organizations that were already out there, and pass the message along through that.
Okay.
And then we were actually able to hit quite a bit of people.
Oh, awesome.
With social media. So as much as we
Shout
didn't
out.
really think that we
Yeah.
would be able to, a lot of people came through social media, through various groups on different platforms like Facebook or Instagram, or even just referrals. Somebody will see it and then they'll tell someone else about it.
Yeah.
And we've brought a lot of people in through that as well.
Definitely. And like people are trying to connect maybe their family or their parents as well to these services through social media. So
Yes.
that's
yeah,
awesome.
Definitely.
And what kind of like services do you guys offer? I know you mentioned a little bit about that, but if you guys want to elaborate on it.
Sure, yeah. So the program it's changed a few times, a few different iterations of it.
Yeah.
But we're kind of in the sweet spot now because we've been doing this for 3 years. So we've been able to identify what's working and what's not. We're at an 8-week program now. So for 8 weeks, once a week, the people will meet with me on Zoom. And in that time, we'll uncover different things. So we'll talk about what they want out of their next chapter in life. We'll talk about what their values are. We'll talk about what their purpose is and how to identify that if they don't know what that looks like right now. We cover off different topics in our group sessions. And then once a week as well, they also get a one-on-one session with me.
Oh, nice.
So in that one-on-one session, we basically take what we did in the group session, but we apply it to their specific situation and their specific life.
I see.
So that's all kind of happening over here. And at the same time, they're meeting with Noel. And did you want to talk about your part?
Right. So exactly at the same time, I'm meeting with these people at least once a week.
Oh, okay.
One-on-one usually to start, and then do the odd group session as well. And what I'm doing is I'm helping them find the story they want to tell, or what usually happens is the story they need to tell. So as Jessica's kind of helping people to open up, I'm digging in there with them.
Yeah. Oh,
And
perfect.
we sort of willing to tell a story. And over the course of weeks, we talk about what's the story. Sometimes that's a little more challenging than people think. And also, what stories that you really want to tell?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you willing to share? That changes over time. Then once people have the story, now you have to write it. Now you have to create it. How are you going to do that? How are you going to remember it? Because at the end, what we do is we record these stories. In fact, we have a professional videographer
Oh, wow.
who records it for us, edits it, and it goes on. We have our own YouTube channel, the Surrey Shares YouTube channel. So I've lost track. It's 20 plus because we have 3 more cohorts I'm working on right now. So in a few months, there'll probably be 30 plus videos from people that have been through the program.
Oh, that's amazing.
All different stories. There's almost no overlap in content or ideas. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
One thing is never ask them what to say. It's whatever that storyteller wants to talk about. It's amazing what happens. But we'll get to that later. We dig down. Yes.
That's amazing. And did you find like over the course of time that the seniors were starting to like open up more, and over time it was easier for them to open up about their life goals as well as their stories too?
I'd say as their cohort goes along. So when they first come in, they're a little bit nervous, they're a little bit apprehensive, a little bit afraid to sort of open up too much. But I'd say even by week 2, people really open. And they start to form connections too with each other. It's a safe space and there's no judgment at all. So everybody feels pretty comfortable early on. And we've been very lucky that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And I love how like complimentary it is too. Like you were mentioning, it's just like you're getting them to kind of open up about their life goals and values, and then you're getting them to also open up about their stories too. And why do you guys feel like it's so important to give people this platform to really express themselves and share their stories?
Well, I think we talked about this on stage about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks
My
ago.
God.
Can't even remember. Yes, it was part of the City of Surrey seniors events.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And we spoke on someone needs to hear your story. And there's someone out there that needs to hear everyone's story. And everyone has something that they also want to tell. They need to tell for some reason, whatever it is that needs to come out. And we find that as something that's happened with, as Jessica says, they go on in time, that can change. It's very interesting to watch people. As Jessica works with people, I've had people who are telling their story, and then 5 weeks in, say, all right, you've got your story, let's practice it. Completely different story comes up. A completely different story.
Oh, wow.
They've changed, they go, I need to tell this. Or one person added the ending. So it's amazing what happens, and that's when we know we're getting to the story that someone needs to tell. This is what has to come out, and there's someone out there who needs to hear it. Is it someone who's new in the business? Is it someone who's struggling with a challenge that you've had? Is it just a connection you can make? So we really encourage people to tell those stories, because sometimes you might be one of the first people in a group to tell it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then that opens the door for everyone else. So storytelling, Jessica helps people open up, and we just help them to bring out what's there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful process. And it's really interesting, like the stories you're saying change, right, over time, because people's probably values, or people are starting to recognize that they have different values, or that they're changing over time, right, through your service too.
Yeah, and sometimes we get people that come in and they say, oh, I don't have a story. I don't have anything. Nothing unique ever happened to me. I don't really have anything I need to share with other people. And then as we start uncovering what their life has really been like, it's like, wow, you have amazing stories, actually. And
you can write a book.
Yes,
yeah.
Heard. The other really great thing I think about this program is that we're capturing those stories so that they live on. Right? We're dealing with seniors, and eventually we all pass on. And so do the stories. The stories pass on with the people.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the really wonderful things that I love about this program is that we're capturing those stories so that they will continue on even after people have passed.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's an important piece of our history.
Yeah, exactly. And like I remember connecting with a senior in like this writing group I was part of, and she mentioned to me that the whole reason why she became a writer is so that when she passes away, she has something that's like concrete and tangible, and it's there for people to look at in the future. And yeah, I think it's really good to have that, and it makes seniors probably feel important and valued in society as well, right?
Definitely does. And the two other pieces we haven't really talked about yet for the program, one of them came from the seniors, which was a social committee. So they decided that they wanted to form a committee and start planning events. So once a month now we get together and we plan an event, and it's all volunteer based, and we have drivers that will come pick us all up and take us where we need to go. And it's turned out to be a really, really good, an amazing piece of the program that we didn't even plan for it to be there originally. But we're seeing friendships starting and people getting together outside of the program and stuff. So that's really cool. And then the other piece is that we have decided to compile all the stories into an anthology and publish them as a book.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's really cool too, because everybody who takes the program has the opportunity. They don't have to if they don't want to, but they have the opportunity to become a published writer and a published author, and not have to put out the expense for that. So that's just a massive opportunity. And then again, that story gets to live on.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's more of a community project then. It's not just like, I mean, it's already a community project, but now it's like bringing it all together and seeing how it all comes together and creates like a larger story, right? Especially for your program. So that's awesome. So many different things happening. That's great. So I wanted to ask you, like, what kind of events did you have? And also, what kind of stories have you heard from these seniors, if you're able to share, of course?
Well, the stories, yes. Now, no spoilers. So,
Fair.
we'll entice you, hopefully, to take a look at the YouTube channel. One woman talks about her battle with dandelions.
Oh.
It's a wonderfully told story, which I recommend.
That's beautiful.
Actually,
Okay.
I recommend you check all of them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're so wildly different. One person in the midst of a disaster, one person hiking and something goes horribly wrong, one person who it turned out to be two stories of adoption, because the vast majority of course, the people in the program are parents.
Yeah.
Someone who's run a marathon. If there's something you've done, if you live, you'll connect with at least one or two of these stories. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So we encourage people to do that, and the titles and little descriptions are there so you can decide. They're all short. We ask people to hit about 12 minutes is ideal.
Okay.
We won't cut people off when I get grumpy. Do you need 13
fair enough.
minutes? TED Talks are now 12 minutes, but there's a reason. And people, it's just been wonderful to have that diversity. So there's something in there. Whatever you want. There's adventure. There's ones that'll make you mist up and feel something here.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like we said, we have 15 more in the pipeline. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. And have you noticed that a lot of people have healed after, opening up about some of these stories?
I would say that's a huge piece of healing. Yeah, just watching people when they first come in, how often they're very closed off or they're very afraid to sort of talk about these things. And as they go through the 8 to 12 or 16 weeks, because the program did start out at 16 weeks, we kind of work through a lot of that. So I would definitely say that there's been some healing. I would say it probably also has opened up some doors that maybe people didn't realize they still had healing to do, which is okay too, because then it's giving people that opportunity in a safe, supported space to heal. So yeah, it's worked out really well.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And you mentioned TED Talk, so this question just came to mind. Would you ever like consider even bringing the seniors on to like TED Talks, or like trying to even get them like public speaking opportunities outside of your program too?
That's a big question. It's an important question. The answer is yes. I encourage people to do public speaking outside of just what they've done here. For instance, at this event that we had recently that was down at Surrey City Hall, seating 150 people or so, because that's all they'd allow. One of our storytellers came up and answered questions on stage afterwards. We showed her video. And the video didn't work. We said, "Oh, you're gonna have to tell it."
Oh my god.
Yes, I really encourage people to. Some are thinking of going to Toastmasters, which is a great next step. TEDx Talks, usually TEDx Talks, because being on the big TED stage is very challenging. There's a lot of them around. There's a lot of smaller events. I'm involved in TEDx Surrey.
Okay.
We now have TEDx Surrey. We've been granted that license, so we're at the Bell Performing Arts Center now. They only allowed half of it, but we almost filled it the first time we were there. So we do have that. However, big TEDx events are challenging to get into, and a couple of people are like, "Oh, you should come to the information sessions." I encourage people to do that, because a lot of people, when they invest the time and really get into the storytelling, and especially the woman who came down with us to Surrey City Hall, over a year, she's just become a fantastic storyteller. You can see the difference from when she first started in her first story to the second one. It's
remarkable, actually.
It is. She's just grown as a storyteller, and she loves it. She's embraced it.
That's
so
beautiful.
I encourage people to get out and do it in whatever way you want. TED Talks, Toastmasters, do Surrey shares, or there's something else. If it's Rotary, I don't care, but do it.
Yeah, exactly. And this program is really good because, for so many reasons, but like one of the things is just that like, I feel like a lot of younger generations have this misconception around seniors, and we believe that, seniors are like closed-minded, they don't want to try new things. And I feel like this program is really debunking it, because we can see that seniors are actively learning, they're building new skills, they're performing in front of so many people. So that's really amazing, and that really helps society as a whole.
Well, the other thing that actually touches on that is that our program, while it is seniors focused, and we do put about 80% of the people through the program that are 55 and above, we are able to bring in about 20% that are non-seniors.
Okay.
So that's worked out really well too, because that has given us kind of an intergenerational feel, and some of the seniors have learned from some of the younger people, and the younger people have learned from the seniors.
Oh, wow.
So it's made some really cool connections. One example that just comes to my mind right away is we had a senior who immigrated here from India by himself, and his son has moved to another country, and he doesn't have as much contact with that son anymore, just because of distance. And he's always wanted to know more about that country and what that would be like to live there. And one of our younger participants is from that country.
Oh, wow.
So the two of them got together and they had some really in-depth conversations about religions within different countries and about politics in different countries and just what it's like to live in a different country. And they've continued this friendship. So now they have this relationship outside of our program, which would never have happened had it not been for them being in the same cohort.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Are there like more stories or experiences that you remember as well? And just also another question is just how do these younger people get involved? Like, are they like the volunteers, or are they just participants as well?
They're also participants.
Okay.
Yeah, so they take the program as well. So if there's anybody out there that is under 55 that's interested, we try to bring in at least 1 or 2 in each cohort.
Okay.
And we've had people come to us from all different places. So whether they're senior or under 55, some of them have come to us through different groups, different organizations that are out there. Some just see it on Facebook or Instagram or in the newspaper, and they're just curious about it and they want to join. As far as stories, we've had a lot of really interesting people come through. We've had a lot of really, really cool stories, but a couple that stand out for me, I would say one is she was one of the younger girls under 55, had a very difficult life growing up, and had her goal. When we sit down together, we kind of go through and figure out what each person's goals are. Her goal was to move out. She had never been able to move out of her home, her family. She was the financial breadwinner for the family, even though she was still quite young, like under 25.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of responsibility put on her quite young. And her goal, her dream was to move out, but she didn't think she'd ever actually be able to afford to move out and still be able to pay for things at the household. By the end of the program, she had a plan, and she has now implemented the plan and is living on her own.
Oh my God,
so
wow.
That's a huge, like, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because it's something that she just never thought would be possible. So that one really stands out to me. I know she's gone on now to complete her college degree and is now currently in the workforce and looking for work, and she's doing really well. So we stay in contact and keep in touch and stuff. So that one really stands out to me. And another one that really stands out to me is actually somebody that came to the program recently and came to the program knowing that she was terminal.
No, okay.
So she came to the program with the intention of putting her story out there so that when she does pass, her family and her friends will have access to this beautiful story. So we were able to get a lot of that done before her passing. And so that really, it meant a lot to her, but it meant a lot to us as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And definitely to the family as well, right? That's kind of that person's legacy, and it can carry on.
Yeah, and she's actually going to be in her first book. So she's going to be, we kind of just made that work. And so her story is going to be printed in the first book, and her family will get copies of that. And that's just, having lost a parent myself, I just know that is a gift that will mean so much to their family.
Definitely.
So, yeah, those are two that stand out for me. I don't know if you want to share, Nino.
Well, even in the first session, we had someone who was talking about something with their kids. Oh. And they were part of the story. And well, why don't you ask them? She was struggling to put the story together. And by speaking to them about these stories, all of a sudden she said, well, I'm talking with my children.
Oh, wow.
She literally reconnected because of this. And there's so many opportunities for things like that, and there's always personal things. I mean, the woman who was talking about adoption. I'm adopted, so I got to hear her side of the story, what parents feel like when they pick a child up from the hospital about the same time, and sort of, we're the same vintage. Put it that way. So yeah, and almost everyone has some story or something that we'll always remember. So
yeah, that's beautiful. It's so great that you guys are providing this platform. Like, I keep bringing that up, but I feel like I don't see enough programs, or maybe I'm just not aware. But yeah, it's so great that I feel like this program provides healing for people. It helps them set like some sort of direction for their lives as well, and at any age too, which I think is the most important thing. Like, you don't have to feel like your life is over, or that you have to be in a situation that you don't want to. Like, there's always another opportunity, and it's great that you're providing this. So because we're running out of time, I do want to ask, like, if you could elaborate a little bit on any future plans, and also just a bit about why people should join this program and how to do that.
So our next cohort starts in September. We usually take the summer off because people are busy and they want to go out and enjoy the beautiful weather. So our next one starts September 12th. We just made that decision yesterday. And if you're interested in applying, the links will be provided, I'm sure. But we basically just accept applications all the time. And when we have a cohort open up, we try to make sure we get a good mix of people in each cohort. We have another year left in our contract. So we still have one more year of cohorts, and then beyond that, we don't know what the final outcome is going to be, but we are definitely open to other organizations picking this program up. We don't want it to end when the contract ends.
Definitely,
we want other people to take it over because it's just such a great program. So that's kind of where things are going. We've got the book coming out in the fall, which is super exciting. And we'll be selling copies of that, which will also go towards helping to keep the program running a little bit longer. And I would just say anybody who's interested in personal development, anybody who's interested in making connections, meeting new people, whether you're senior or not, and anybody who has any kind of story that they think they want to share, just give us a try. I think you'll enjoy it. We haven't had anybody leave because they don't like the program. So everybody seems to really enjoy it, and they stay in contact, and they continue to come to all the events that we put together. So it's really cool to see.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And my last question is just in terms of responses from the community and from the seniors, any ones that you would like to highlight or anything of that sort?
In terms of the responses from the community, I think the
or
best one, probably would have been when we went to our event. We had people in the audience reacting. You could hear the connection. So when people engage with the storytellers, good things happen. They realize that there's something there that maybe is for them. As Jessica said, the program's it's literally for everyone. Let's just leave it. There's something for everyone in it.
That's perfect. Oh, well, that's so exciting. I mean, I'd love to check it out eventually, too. I mean, I'm 18, so I could join, right?
You can.
Okay.
18 and above.
Perfect. Okay, I made it. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you guys. We will put your social media and any links that you want down below. Thank you so much to Close Look for this platform, and thank you to everyone that is listening. Please do stay connected with us. Please stay connected with our social media, our podcasts, our TV shows, and our magazine as well. And please do contribute some articles because we need them for our upcoming issue. But that's it for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.